One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Shit, just another beautiful freaking morning. We are enjoying Tuesday morning, man. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. What's good with everyone, man? Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic morning. We got a couple of topics we're discussing today. Usually we'd be going into like some crazy breaking news and stuff like that. Today, as you guys see, I don't have it saying live news because we're not doing that today. We're doing I guess JD Vance had remarks early this morning. I think he's actually over there, and I have no idea where he's actually speaking from, but it was sometime this morning, I think. Remarks on the U.S., India, trade relations, and economy, as well as Pete Hegseth slags the mainstream media on the second signal leak. So we're going to go ahead and discuss that here in a few moments. I actually don't know either story yet. I have not watched anything here, so we're going to go ahead and review this live together. But before we do, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the number one metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the show, man, hit that subscribe button because it's also free. Please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month, making sure that we're not breaking no bank out there. But listen, if it will break the bank, don't buy anything on the internet. But listen, this right here is exactly how we get to speak. We're 100% funded by you guys. We don't cater to views. Yeah, man, it's a huge help. It's how we do our thing over here. Follow my Instagram right here. A little side note, at Ball Valve TV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time. Go ahead and check us out over there, as well as Naomi's dropping the Discord link once in a while in the chat. Make sure you guys join up in there. We got the majority of you guys in there, so always good to see you guys in there. Last but not least, of course, every donation, every super sticker, gifted membership sign-up, super stickers, all these things are, of course, going to be shouted out live onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube brutal 30% cut, of course, we have these platforms that you guys could donate to. And of course, I will shout you out over there and your message, man. Always appreciate it.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
He said it. I didn't say shit. You know what I mean? But hey.
Oh shit!
Listen, all right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone up in here. We got Mount High up in here. Good morning to you, kind sir. We got brother Steve. We got Naomi up in here. Good morning to you. We got Charles Darwin down under in Australia, my man. Good to see you. As well as Hardwire 1%er. Yes, sir. Good to see you. As well as Carney's Ride, my man over there in New Mexico, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hopefully it's not too cold. It's really rainy and it's thundering like a motherfucker outside. It's been doing that since last night. Early last night, it started raining, and man, I love it. Anytime it's rain and thunder, that's when I sleep the best. I know that's some people, it bothers them. For me, I love it. I love that shit. But good morning to everyone, man. We got Papa Penguin as well. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We got Tiffany. Thank you so much for bringing in and hanging out with all of us in here. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Chairman of the board, Trump doesn't manage the economy. The banks and their Federal Reserve cartel have more economic influence than the president. That's 100% fact, by the way. That is a fact, what he just said right there. And yes, make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in, man. We got Steve Posey saying morning, Mike Ball and the Breakfast Club. Good to see you, my man. We're about to get into the craziness for damn sure. We got Brother Beezer, old Beezer Geezer, chilling with us, my man. Good to see you as well. Brother 13, Breakfast Crew. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Mike. Always appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Wild Card, my man. Good morning. Good morning. I am scrolling down to make sure I'm not missing anything. We got Robert Demita up in here. He says it's rainy as fuck where he's at too. Yeah, no, I love the rain. Some people hate it, but I don't live constantly in rain. So if I lived in like Seattle, I'd probably fucking hate it. So Glare 1%er, good morning, kind sir. Good to see you down there in Texas. Let's see. Steve says we are getting storms later. Yeah, you're probably getting the storms that we're dealing with right now. That's probably what you'll end up receiving. You should move to Alabama. You'll get used to the thunder. That is true. That is true. And yeah, I love the rain. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get a temp check from everybody where you guys are at. I'll start it off. I am right now. It is 67 degrees. It's going to be up to 72 today. But we've got rain and thunder all throughout. As you guys can see, there's the thunder and heavy rain. But yeah, it stops at 1800, which is 6 p.m. Fuck. That's awesome. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the craziness. This is regarding, Vice President Vance is doing his remarks on U.S.-India trade relations and the economy.
As it looks like J.D. Vance is walking up to the podium.
Wildcard says 62. That's
how we
nice.
Doing? Good. Well, it's an amazing privilege to be here in Jaipur.
Man, 79. That's fucking hot.
I'm thrilled to address the Ananta Sender's
81.
India-U.S. Forum, and I'm thrilled to have you all here with me. Thanks to all of you, the business leaders, decision makers, and of course the students for being here. And thanks to our great team at the U.S. Embassy for everything that you guys do for our country. In the United States, we're proud of the deep connection between our nations, between India and the United States. Prime Minister Modi, as most of you probably know, was one of the first visitors welcomed into the Oval Office during President Trump's second term.
59 degrees up there in Ohio. Nice. It's actually a decent temp. I like anywhere in like 60 to 70. That's where I like it.
And like President Trump, the Prime Minister inspires remarkable loyalty because of the strength of his belief in his people and in his country. Now, we're so grateful for Prime Minister Modi's hospitality as well as the reception that he and everyone else in this country have given us on this.
And he's speaking about India's
first trip for me to India. This is my first time visiting the birthplace of my wife's parents, and she's, of course, in the front row there. There you are, Usha. She's a bit of a celebrity, it turns out, in India, I think more so than her husband. But
oh, shit.
I haven't been here long, but already I've been fortunate enough to visit.
I didn't know that you were actually up there, chairman of the board. I didn't know you were up there. But yeah, that's not surprising. I mean, a lot of people are in Huntsville.
The Akshardham Temple. Did I pronounce that right, honey? I did okay? All right. With my family this morning, as a matter of fact. And last night, Prime Minister Modi welcomed me, Usha, and our 3 small children at his beautiful home. I've been amazed.
That's 100% correct what Papa Penguin just said. He says the winners in the fight between China and America's influence fight are Pakistan and India. I didn't know Pakistan, but I definitely knew India. you're going to have to let me know regards to why Pakistan. It's got to be oil related. I have no idea.
By the ancient beauty of the architecture of India, by the richness of India's history and traditions, but also by India's laser-like focus on the future. And those things, I think this appreciation for history and tradition and this focus on the future is very much something that I think animates this country in 2025. Now, in other countries I've visited, it sometimes feels like there's a flatness, a sameness, a desire to just be like everyone else in the world. But it's different here. There's a vitality to India, a sense of infinite possibility, of new homes to be built, new skylines to be raised, and lives to be enriched. And there's a pride in being Indian, a feeling of
That's right, Beezer. Thank you. Come again.
excitement about the days that lie ahead. Now, it's a striking contrast with too many in the West, where some in our leadership class seem stricken by self-doubt and even fear of the future. To them, humanity is always one bad decision away from catastrophe. The world will soon end, they tell us.
Yo, real quick, we got Brother Glare coming in with the 6 months, by the way. Hell yeah. Saying Indians tried to steal your heart. Ask Indiana Jones. I know that's probably what you're talking about right there. Yes, sir. Hey, appreciate that. More money. Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Because we're burning too much fuel or making too many things or having too many children. And so rather than invest in the future, they too often retreat from it. Some of them pass laws that force their nations to use less power. They cancel nuclear and other energy generation facilities, even as their choices, the choices of these leaders, lead to more dependence on foreign adversaries. Meanwhile, their message to their
Indians Jones? I got to look up Indians Jones. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm going to have to look that up now. I thought you meant Indiana Jones, but hey.
friends to countries like India is to tell them that they're
What's up, Lion Lily? Unless Anson's fucking trolling. But hey, we got Lion Lily up in here. Appreciate you. Hopefully you're having a wonderful, fantastic morning.
not allowed to grow.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, it was
President Trump rejects these failed ideas.
It's actually, believe it or not, the super chat, and anytime that you're doing that on, at least on your phone, for some reason when you super chat, it glitches out what you're trying to say. I don't know why it does it. At least all on iPhone. I mean, all iPhones have this issue with YouTube, with the super chat. For some reason, as you're typing it out, it will mispronounce every fucking thing. Like, it just starts typing really fucking weird and shit. But yeah. What's up, Are We Not, man? Good morning to you, kind sir. Hopefully you're doing well. We got Plumpy in here as well, man. Where is he? We got Carney's Ride coming in, sending in a 5 spot, my man. Get you a pre-roll. Yes, sir. Very much appreciate you, Carney, for the kind 5 spot right there. And I definitely will. I definitely freaking will. I did yesterday. So actually, you know, it kind of makes up for it. And I got it right here. Cheers. And it's left-handed tobacco, YouTube. Huh. Shit. All right. Back to this. Thank you.
He wants America to grow. He wants India to grow. And he wants to build the future with our partners all over the globe. And when I look at this audience, or when I visit this incredible country over these last couple of days, I see a people that will not be held back. Now, the most profound responsibility I believe that all of us have is not to ourselves, but to the next generation, to make sure we leave them with a better society than the one that our parents and our...
Here, real quick, we got Plumpy sending in a 2 spot, by the way, saying flame on. Yes, sir. Hey, Plumpy, thank you so much for the 2 spot as well, my man. Appreciate you. And listen, for the rest of you motherfuckers out here.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Again, he said it. Grandparents
gave us. And this is the world that America seeks to create with you. We want to build a bright new world, one that's constantly innovating, one that's helping people to form families, making it easier to build, invest, and trade together in pursuit of common goals. Now, I believe that our nations have much to offer one another, and that's why we come to you as partners looking to strengthen our relationship. Now, we're not here to preach that you do things any one particular way. Too often in the past, Washington approached Prime Minister Modi with an attitude of preachiness or even one of condescension. Prior administrations saw India as a source of low-cost labor on the one hand, even as they criticized the Prime Minister's—
Now, I did fix it. I fix it almost every day. Almost every day. But what ends up happening is the damn cat likes to hop right there and then knock it down. So it's almost every single day. That blanket that she's talking about right there, usually it hangs over the bed, which Naomi did put it there and it looked nice. So I've been putting it back there every time. But unfortunately, the damn cat knocks it down. So
government, arguably the most popular in the democratic world. And as I told Prime Minister Modi last night, he's got approval ratings that would make me jealous. But it wasn't just India. This attitude captured too much of our economic relationship.
Trigger warning, that is fair. That is a fair freaking position to have, kind sir. It's okay.
With the rest of the world.
Good morning.
So we shipped countless jobs overseas, and with them, our capacity to make things, from furniture, appliances, and even weapons of war. We traded hard power for soft power, because with economic integration, we were told, would also come peace through sameness. Over time, we'd all assume the same sort of bland, secular, universal values, no matter where—
No, that guy was on the grift. Not
where you lived. The world was flat after all. That was the thesis, and that was what they told us. And when that thesis proved false, or at least incomplete, leaders in the West took it upon themselves to flatten it by any means necessary. But many people across the world, and I think your country counts among them, they did not want to be flattened. Many were proud of where they came from, their way of life, the kind of jobs they worked, and the kind of jobs their parents worked before them. And that very much includes people in my own country, the United States of America. Now, some of you are aware of my own background. I actually didn't plan to talk about my background at all until last night at dinner while my children mostly behaved. We gave them an A- for behavior with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said, I have one request. I want you to talk a little bit about your background. And so I wanted to do that. For those of you who don't know anything about me, I wanted to talk about it. I come from, and I'm biased, the greatest state in the Union, the state of Ohio.
Yeah, you did. You came in here and chucked it.
A longtime manufacturing powerhouse in the United States of America. My home specifically is a place called Middletown. Now, it's not a massive city by any means. It's not Jaipur, but it's a decent—
It sounds like a mid-town, homie.
Sized town, and a place where people make things, which has been a point of pride in Middletown for generations. It's filled with families like my own, some of whom called us hillbillies. Americans who came down from the surrounding hills and mountains of West Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky to cities like Middletown in pursuit of the manufacturing jobs that were creating widespread prosperity for families all across America. They came to Middletown in search of what we call back home the American dream. In Middletown, my parents raised me. My grandparents raised me. They taught us to work hard. They taught me to study hard, and they taught me to love God and my country and always be good to your own. My granddad, who I called Papaw growing up, he typified that. Late into life, he worked as a steelmaker at the local mill, and I know India has a lot of those. Papaw's job gave him a good wage, stable hours, and a generous pension. All that allowed him to support not just him and my grandmother, but his own daughter and grandkids with him. Now, by the time I came around, money was awfully tight, but he worked hard to make a good living for all of us. Now, I know Papaw and Mamaw were grateful for the way of life their country made possible. Their generation bore witness to the formation of America's great middle class. And by creating—
Middle class. That's funny. Where'd that go?
An economy centered around production, around workers who build things, and around the value of their labor, Our nation's leaders then transformed their country and made thousands of little middle towns possible. The government supported its labor force. We created incentives for productive industries to take root and struck good deals with international partners to sell the goods made in the United States of America. But as America settled into world historic prosperity it generated,
Make sure you hit that like button, like Naomi says. Otherwise, she may become bitch-omi, and nobody wants that. We got America Uncensored up in here as well. Good morning to you, kind sir. Always good to see you.
our leaders began to take that very prosperity.
No, it's definitely not still a thing. Shit.
Stop the cap.
And what created it for granted. They forgot the importance of building, of supporting productive industry, of striking fair deals, and of supporting our workers and their families. And as time went on, we saw the consequences. In my hometown, factories left, jobs evaporated, America's middle towns ceased to be the lifeblood of our nation's economy. And the United States, as it became transformed, those very people, the working class, the background of the United States of America, were dismissed as backwards for holding on to the values their people had held dear for generations. Now, Middletown's story is my story, but it's hardly unusual in the United States of America.
13's got the right idea, dude. Yes, exactly. It always is 420 somewhere. Hey,
There are tens of millions of Americans
even when it's not, it's okay. It always is.
who, over the last 20 or so years, have woken up to what's happening in our nation. But I believe they woke up well before it's too late. Now, like you, we want to appreciate our history, our culture, our religion. We want to do commerce and strike good deals with our friends. We want to found our vision of the future upon the proud recognition of our heritage rather than self-loathing and fear. I work for a president who has long understood all of this, whether through fighting those who seek to erase American history or in support of fair trade.
Yeah, he definitely needs, something over there on the Aussie side.
Deals abroad. He has been consistent on these issues for decades.
Yo, brother Red, my man. Good to see you, by the way. Saying running a bunch of errands right now. Hey, I totally get that. It's all good. And by the way, there's only about 20 minutes left of this. No, not even. 15 minutes left. I hope that he doesn't keep it all just wrapped up in the past, because that shit is boring as a motherfucker. I'm just saying.
Oh, shit.
It's cool to be nostalgic and, go down that whole route, but come on, pick up the pace, please.
And as a result, under the Trump administration, America now has a government.
Real quick, we got Plumpy coming in with the 2 spot, by the way. Always appreciate my man right there. He says, shout out to those just scraping by right now. This for you. Hey, listen, man, that's a message that goes out for everybody. Sincerely, it does go out to everyone that is scraping by, because trust me, I've been there, done that many of times. Papa Penguin says he's kissing ass. Yep. All right, back to this.
That has learned
Brother
from the
G, good morning.
mistakes of the past. It's why President Trump cares so deeply about protecting the manufacturing economy that is the lifeblood of American prosperity and making sure America's workers have opportunities for good jobs. As we saw earlier this month, he will go to extraordinary lengths.
Yes, we need a raging emote of you, Naomi, just raging. That's what we need
To protect and expand those opportunities for all Americans. And so today I come here with a simple message. Our administration seeks trade partners on the basis of fairness and of shared national interests. We want to build relationships with our foreign partners who respect their workers, who don't suppress their wages to boost exports, but respect the value of their labor. We want partners that are committed to working with America to build things, not just allowing themselves to become a conduit for transshipping others' goods. And finally, we want to partner with people and countries who recognize the historic nature of the moment we're in, of the need to come together.
What's up, Dragon Classy, as well? Good morning to you.
And build something truly new, a system of global trade that is balanced, one that is open, and one that is stable and fair. Now, I want to be clear, America's partners need not look exactly like America. nor must our governments do everything exactly the same way. But we should have some common goals, and I believe here in India we do, in both economics and in national security. And that's why we're so excited. That's why I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it can still be revived or something. You know what I mean?
In India, America has a friend, and we seek to strengthen the
$100 minimum, though.
warm bonds our great nations already share. Now, critics have attacked my president, President Trump, for starting a trade war in an effort to bring back the jobs of the past, but nothing could be further from the truth. He seeks to rebalance global trade so that America, with friends like India,
Are you talking about India? Part of that BRICS? Mm-hmm.
can build a future worth having for all of our people together. And when President Trump and Prime Minister Modi announced in February that our countries aim to more than double our bilateral trade to $500 billion by the end of the decade, I know that both of them meant it. And I'm encouraged by everything our nations are doing to get us there. As many of you are aware, both of our governments are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, like creating new jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we were especially excited to formally announce that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I think this is a vital step. Thank you. And I believe this is a vital step.
What's up, neighbor guy? Good morning to you as well.
Toward realizing President Trump's and Prime Minister Modi's vision, because it sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations. I believe there is much that America and India can accomplish together. And on that note, I want to talk about a few areas.
Well, they're kind of the opposing team with that whole BRICS plus thing. And yes, I see Are We Not Men sends in $1 on the Cash App. This motherfucker, he sends in $1. Let me see what he says. Hold on. Mike's breast reduction surgery. All right. This is fantastic. Hey, but I very much appreciate it. Are we not, man? Yes, sir.
Areas of collaboration today, how India and the United States can work together. First, perhaps most importantly, to protect our nations. Second, to build great things. And finally, to innovate the cutting-edge technologies both our countries will need in the years to come. Now, in defense, our countries already enjoy a close relationship, one of the closest relationships in the world. America does more military exercises with India than we do with any other nation on earth.
Brother Slim, good morning to you as well.
The U.S.-India Compact that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi...
Topless Tuesday or Taco Tuesday? Which one is better? Taco Tuesday or Topless Tuesday? Let me know.
Modi announced in February will lay the foundation for even closer collaboration between our countries. From javelins to Stryker combat vehicles, our nations will co-produce many of the munitions and equipment that we'll need to deter foreign aggressors. Not because we seek war, but because we seek peace, and we believe the best path to peace is through mutual strength. And the launching the Joint Autonomous Systems Industry Alliance.
What's up, Wolfgang? Good morning, by the way.
Will enable America and India to develop the most state-of-the-art maritime systems needed for victory. It's fitting that India this year is hosting the Quad Leaders Summit this fall. Our interests in a free, open, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific are in full alignment. Both of us know that the region must remain safe from any hostile powers that seek to dominate it. Growing relations between our countries over the last decade are part of what led America to designate India a major...
Yo, Charlotte, good to see you, by the way. Good morning to you as well. Yeah, exactly. 24-hour hot tub topless stream tomorrow. Nice. Y'all in the chat are way too fucking funny sometimes.
Defense partner, the first of that class. This designation means that India now shares with the UAE a defense and technology infrastructure and partnership with the United States on par with America's closest allies and friends.
Oh,
But-
man. Hardwire joined in, by the way. Hardwire joined in, by the way, sends in $1 on the fucking Cash App as well. He says, for Mike's breast reduction surgery. Y'all are fucking
Stupid.
Jesus. Here we go.
We actually feel that India has much more to gain from its continued defense partnership with the United States. And let me sketch that out a little bit. We, of course, want to collaborate
That is
more.
true.
We want to work together more.
Whatever.
And we want your nation to buy more of our military equipment, which, of course, we believe is the best in class. American fifth-generation F-35s, for example, would give the Indian Air Force the ability to defend your airspace and protect your people like never before. And I've met a lot of great people from the Indian Air Force just
As well as Miss Lotus. Good to see you, too. Do you think I have big breasts? You guys think I have big breasts? They don't bounce. They don't really... See? They don't bounce. I don't know. You guys and your breast reduction shit. But hey, for the rest of you guys in this chat, well, listen up.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking
Shit.
in the last couple of days. India, like America, wants to build. And that will mean that we have to produce more energy. That's more energy production and more energy consumption. And it's one of the many reasons why I think our nations have so much to gain by strengthening our energy ties. As President Trump is fond of saying, America has once again begun to drill, baby, drill. And we think that will inure to the benefit of Americans, but will also benefit India as well. Past administrations in the United States of America, I think motivated by a fear of the future, have tied our hands and restricted American investments in oil and natural gas production. This administration recognizes that cheap, dependable energy is an essential part of making things and is an essential part of economic independence for both of our nations. Of course, America is blessed with vast natural resources and an unusual capacity to generate energy. So much that we want to be able to sell it to our friends like India. We believe your nation will benefit from American energy exports and expanding those exports. You'll be able to build more, make more, and
Hey, make sure you guys hit the like button for making more. Shit. Listen, it's #1 metric of all YouTube, and it helps out the show, and it's free. I know it takes you one extra step. I know. Hit that motherfucker. Appreciate you guys.
and grow more, but at much lower energy costs. We also want to help India explore its own considerable natural resources, including its offshore natural gas reserves and critical mineral supplies.
This is how we get through it. This is like our way to cope on the right. You know, this is how we have to do this. In order to actually watch us, we got to have some in-betweener here.
We have the capacity and we have the desire to help. Moreover, we think energy co-production will help beat unfair competitors in other foreign markets.
He's almost done.
But
Joe.
India, we believe, can go a long way to enhance energy ties between our nations.
And yes, everyone hit that Discord. Got like 95% of you guys in the Breakfast Club in there. Make sure you guys join up. Seriously.
And one suggestion I'd have is maybe consider
that's
dropping some of
ridiculous.
the non-tariff barriers for American access to the Indian market. Now, I've talked about this, of course, with Prime Minister Modi. And look, President Trump and I know that Prime Minister Modi is a tough negotiator. He drives a hard bargain. It's one of the reasons why we respect him.
That's right, neighbor guy. I like that.
And we don't blame Prime Minister Modi for fighting for India's industry. But we do blame American leaders of the past for failing to do the same for our workers. And we believe
Gotta love when it becomes a weed chat. You know what I mean?
that we can fix that to the mutual benefit of both the United States
What's up, brother
and
Hegseth?
India. Let me give an example. American ethanol, we believe made from the finest corn in the world, can play a tremendous role in enhancing our partnership. And I know our farmers would be delighted to support India's energy security ambitions. We welcome the Modi government's budget announcement to amend India's civil nuclear liability laws, which currently prevent U.S. producers from exporting small modular reactors and building larger U.S.-designed reactors in India. There's much that we can create, much that we can do together. We believe that American energy can help realize India's nuclear power production goals, and this is very important, as well as its AI ambitions. Because as the United States knows well, and I know that India knows well, there is no AI future without energy security and energy dominance.
Oh my goodness. Get over this shit.
And that brings me to my
wrap it up.
Final point of collaboration. I believe that the technological collaboration between our countries is going to extend well beyond defense and energy. The U.S.-India Trust Initiative that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi have launched will be a cornerstone of the partnership in the future. It'll build on billions of dollars of planned investments that American companies have already announced across India. In the years to come, we're going to see data centers, pharmaceuticals, undersea cables, and countless other critical goods being developed and being built because of the American and Indian economic partnership. And I'll say it again, I think that our nations have so much to gain by investing in one another. America investing in India, and of course, India investing in the United States of America. And I know that Americans, our people, are excited about that prospect, and that President Trump and I are looking forward to stronger ties. Americans want further access to Indian markets. This is a great place to do business, and we want to give our people more access to this country. And Indians, we believe, will thrive from greater commerce in the United States. This is very much a win-win partnership. It certainly will be far into the future. And as I know this audience knows better than most, neither Americans nor Indians are alone in looking to scale up their manufacturing capacity. The competition extends well beyond cheap consumer goods and into munitions, energy, infrastructure, and all sorts of other cutting-edge technologies. I believe that if our nations fail to keep pace, the consequences—
I am fucking with you, Charles. Can this guy just get it over with? Please. So rough. I just need to get through this. We got Plumpy coming in saying, cheers to a good partnership and titties. Yes, sir. With the beautiful black hearts, by the way. Plumpy, thank you so much, by the way, for the kind donations. Very much goes a long way over here.
Consequences for the Indo-Pacific, but really the consequences for the entire world will be quite dire. And this, again, is where India and the United States have so much to offer one another.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've got great hardware, the leading artificial intelligence hardware in the world. You have one of the most exciting startup technology infrastructures anywhere in the world. There's a lot to be gained by working together. And this is why President Trump and I both welcome India's leadership in a number of diplomatic organizations, but of course in the Quad. We believe a stronger India means greater economic prosperity, but also greater stability across the Indo-Pacific, which is, of course, a shared goal for all of us in this room, and it's a shared goal for both of our countries. I want to close with one.
Yes, please close.
Last story, or maybe a couple of stories. So, you know, my son Ewan is 7 years old. He's our firstborn son, and yesterday after we had dinner at the Prime Minister's house, the food was so good and the Prime Minister was so kind to our three children that Ewan came up to me afterwards and he said, "Dad, you know, I think maybe I could live in India." And
fucking way too much cock right now.
But I think after about 90 minutes in the Jaipur Sun today at the Great Palace, he suggested that maybe we should move to England. So you take the good with the bad here.
Well, at least.
But I want to talk about Prime Minister Modi.
I like that he just was like, well, just go ahead and do the exact opposite.
Because I think he's a special person. I first met Prime Minister Modi at the AI Action Summit in February, and we had a lot of important discussions on AI and other policies to prepare for. The Prime Minister also managed to figure out that my son Vivek was actually turning 5 years old on the trip. This was in Paris just a couple of months ago.
All right, this motherfucker, Are We Not Men, sends $1 in and says on the Cash App, he says, I farted. Nice.
Go. So think about this. Amid a huge international policy conference.
Yeah, exactly. Stop the cap, Charlotte.
Stop the cap.
Like as if anyone wants to live there ever.
He took the time to stop by where I was staying, wish our second son, Vivek, a happy birthday, and even bring him a gift. Ush and I were both genuinely touched by his graciousness, and we've been even more impressed by his warmth since we arrived in India. Now, it's interesting. Some of you may know that when you're a politician, your kids spend almost as much time in the limelight as you do, and the great things about kids is they are brutally honest. They're brutally honest with everybody, whether you want them to be or not. And our 7-year-old, our 5-year-old, and then our 3-year-old baby girl, Mirabelle, it's interesting. They have only really been,
Yo, Joseph saying good morning, Mr. Ball. Lucy, Breakfast Crew, BNC, can't forget the haters. Stop the cap, that's right.
Stop the cap.
Good morning, and good to see you up there in Canada.
really attached themselves to. They've only really liked, I should say, they've only really built a rapport with two world leaders. The first, of course, is President Trump. He just has a certain energy about him. But Prime Minister Modi, it's the exact same thing.
Yes,
our
Papa.
kids just like him. And I think that because kids are such good, strong of characters, I just like Prime Minister Modi too. And I think it's a great foundation for the future of our relationship.
Gotta love political satire.
I could tell when Prime Minister Modi came over a couple of months ago, and I believe today that he is a serious leader who has thought deeply about India's future prosperity and security, not just for the rest of his time in office,
Oh my goodness. Skip ahead.
relationship with the rest of the world.
What's up, Brother Lee?
That's going to fundamentally will cause profound changes within our borders in the United States, but of course with other countries as well.
You didn't miss shit with this one, Lee, so don't worry about it. But the next story is actually a really super interesting story. But this shit has been just a glazing event.
But I believe that this rebalancing is going to produce great benefits for American workers. It's going to produce great benefits for the people of India. And because our partnership is so important to the future of the world, I believe President Trump's efforts, joined, of course,
Man, of course. Join, of course. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think we've all had enough. All right, so the next story that we're going to go into, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have put up here. Pete Hegseth slams media on the second signal leak ordeal. So let's go ahead and get into this whole debacle here. But real quick, we got Doug Ross up in here. Good morning to you, kind sir. Good to see you as always, man. Hopefully you're enjoying your topless Taco Tuesday, man. Shit. Yes, sir.
More of these top headlines, including so much more of the reporting coming out of the Pentagon in Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth's inner circle, or should I say lack of inner circle, because many of his top advisors, remember, were placed on administrative leave last week, and they were summarily fired by Friday night. Well, a lot of them are speaking out. The New York Times also has new reporting to suggest that yet another Signal group chat was created and formed by Secretary Hegseth that also discussed key sensitive information about those strikes on Houthi targets. March the 15th here. Well, Fox's Jared Halpern has more on
Couldn't do it any longer.
all of this. Let's listen.
This group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with access to grind.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth lashing out at the media after new reports about a second signal chat related to
I have not found anything, by the way, Papa Penguin.
recent airstrikes in Yemen. This time, Hegseth is accused of sharing attack plans on the non-secure app with his wife, his brother, and 11 other people.
Wow.
Multiple officials say those types of operational detail, brother and
This was the original. Okay, this was the original group chat. So this isn't another leaked one. Defense Secretary responds to latest Signal chat report.
and 11 other people. Multiple officials say those types of operational details could put American lives at risk. Hegseth claims no classified material was shared.
See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people. and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me.
Democrats responding quickly to the new allegations, saying they call Hegseth's judgment into question, with many pushing for him to be replaced, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who wrote on social media, quote, "The details keep coming out. We keep learning how Pete Hegseth put lives at risk, but Trump is still too weak to fire him." President Trump says he has complete faith in Hegseth.
Well, apparently his lawyer was also involved, but I can't imagine his lawyer like leaking information. But who knows? Who knows?
Ability to lead the Pentagon. And the White House is suggesting those who revealed information about the Signal chat should be the ones getting fired.
No classified information was shared in these chats, but you do have leakers who are leaking classified information, which is a crime.
Hegseth's use of the Signal app is now under investigation.
I am with you on that one, Plumpy. 1,000%. Yes.
By the Pentagon's acting inspector general. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
You know the rules. Shit. Fuck, baby, fuck.
Jared, thanks so much. So let's listen to a little bit more of Secretary Hegseth today on the front lawn there at the White House for the Easter egg roll. He spoke with reporters briefly. Let's listen.
Hey, we're happy to be here at the Easter egg roll, I'll tell you that. Here with the family, beautiful day. And President Trump is changing the country. And it's creating opportunities for families all across America to better their lives. And that's what Make America Great Again is all about.
What do you want to say, sir, about the Signal chat controversy?
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't get back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. And on hoaxes, time and time and time again.
Frederick, good morning to you, by the way.
And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because, you know, this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with access to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know it, you know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing for the president, fighting hard across the board, and I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no. The mainstream media doesn't get a pass on any of that. The only thing the media should do is present said evidence. They shouldn't be like, oh, we've got an anonymous source. Bob. No, don't even say that until you got a fucking person you can pin that shit onto. You know what I mean? Fuck.
Okay, so quite defiant there by Secretary Hegseth. And so the New York Times was reporting that Hegseth shared operational details of that March 15th strike, those multiple strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen, in a second chat on the encrypted platform Signal there, but unclassified, as you know. Signal unclassified, but encrypted. So on that very...
You safe out there, Doug. Appreciate you always...
the chat group included his wife, his brother, and a personal lawyer, according to the reporting by the New York Times. Now, the chief spokesperson at the Pentagon put out this statement in relation to the latest report. Sean Parnell says this.
Oh, shit. All right, everyone listen up. This is a statement from the chief Pentagon spokesperson, Sean Parnell. All right. And this is in response to the latest Hegseth Signal chat allegations.
Today, another old story, back from the dead. The Trump-hating media continues to be obsessed with destroying anyone committed to President Trump's agenda. This time, the New York Times and all other fake news that repeat their garbage are enthusiastically taking the grievances of disgruntled former employees as the sole sources for their article. They relied only on the words of people who were fired this week and appear to have a motive to sabotage the secretary and the president's agenda. There was no classified information in any signal chat, no matter how many ways they try to write the story. What is true is that the Office of the Secretary of Defense is continuing to become stronger and more efficient in executing President Trump's agenda. Well, the New York Times, their communications team, responding to that statement, saying this: we're confident in the accuracy of our reporting, which revealed the defense secretary shared sensitive information in a signal chat that included his wife and brother, among others.
Oh, boy.
They say the Pentagon has not denied the existence of the chat, and its assertion that there was no classified information shared in any chat is beside the point when it comes to our story, which did not characterize the information as classified. Now, in the meantime, also there at the Easter egg roll today at the White House, President Trump was asked about this in addition to a number of other topics here. This is what he had to say. Let's listen to this.
And look, these are great gentlemen. They're great. If they weren't, they wouldn't be both.
Because it actually happened the first time. The second time, well, unfortunately, they don't got shit. Not shit.
Oh, total. Why do you even ask a question like that? We have recruitment that's at an all-time high. The spirit in the armed forces is fantastic. No, great confidence.
You be safe out there, Charlotte. We'll see you on the flip side. I always appreciate you dropping in and hanging out with us.
Are you bringing up Signal again? I thought they gave that up 2 weeks ago.
There was a new report this weekend that they used in a separate chat that included some family members.
It's all just the same old stuff from the media. That's an old one. Try finding something new.
Sir, your message to Catholics, sir, mourning the loss of Pope Francis.
I like that one. Are We Not Men sends in $1 saying she. Appreciate that. Much love.
Your message to Catholics, sir.
We love you all. We're with you all. They were with me during the election, as you know, very strongly, and it's just an honor to have the support of the Catholics, and I feel very badly for them because they love the Pope.
No matter who the next Pope is, sir, no matter who the next Pope is elected, whoever that may be, what relationship do you hope to have with the incoming Pope?
I think very good. I've had that, but I think very good.
Russia, Ukraine.
Do you think Russia and Ukraine can get a deal?
There's a chance. There's a very good chance.
Are you happy with how the European Union is handling the tariffs right now? Are you happy with Europe right now?
They've been fun. We'll end up having a deal. We're going to ultimately have a deal with anyone. If we don't, we're going to make it anyway. But we're going to ultimately have. The economy is very good. We don't have inflation. Energy's down at the lowest it's been in years. We hit actually $1.98 recently in a couple of states. I think we're doing really well. We're all set. There's a little transition, and that's going to happen. But ultimately, we're going to be the strongest that we've ever been as a nation. Thank you.
He said, thank you.
Okay,
That's how
so
you
that
do
was
it.
just
Thank
what
you,
we
walk
call a
the fuck
gaggle
away.
here in journalism, taking questions from reporters there at the White House for the Easter egg roll today, with some of the questions about Secretary of Defense Hegseth, whether or not he still has confidence in him, and he somewhat dismissed the latest kind of tranche in this saga and scandal that continues to envelop not only the Pentagon, but Hegseth.
Well, just allow the evidence to come out then. Until then, fuck you guys.
Inner circle here, so much so that there was a single source, anonymous source report in NPR today that said the White House was considering replacing Hegseth, so much so that Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, put out this on social media saying this NPR story is total fake news based on one anonymous source who clearly has no idea what they are talking about. As the president said this morning, he stands strongly behind the SecDef there. All right. In the meantime, we do want to talk about this even further with our friend and our colleague there, national security analyst and expert and retired Marine intelligence officer, Hal Kemper. He joins me. Hal, good to see you here.
I really don't care about what you've got to say in this whole ordeal here. National security analyst. I don't really need an analyst in that.
Then you have something like this. You have signal.
Breaking news, New York Times says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is said to have shared detailed information about forthcoming strikes in Yemen on March 15th in a private Signal group chat that included his wife, brother, and personal lawyer.
Gate 1, where it was clearly what was released indicated that operational security details.
Is that the original? That's got to be the original reporting.
Things that would normally be classified were being shared by the secretary in a group chat.
What's up, Gaming and Chill? Hopefully you're having a good topless Taco Tuesday. Yes, see, that was a little bit of a tongue twister. Topless Taco Tuesday. Boom.
Now, this was an inappropriate format, Signal chat, for that type of discussion, but also that someone had invited in, ostensibly Mike Waltz, but somebody had invited in a very senior journalist into the group, which
right. Al, that was an inadvertent mistake. This reporting in this Signal group chat, it was Hegseth's wife, brother. From what I understand, his brother does have a job at the Pentagon in a role, and his personal attorney here. That's not a mistake, right?
No, that's the difference. This one, you have people that have been deliberately invited in. There's no mistake involved. That should have not been part of that conversation. Now, one can make an argument that if his brother is employed by the Pentagon, he would probably have a clearance and have access. I understand his personal attorney also has some role with the Pentagon, so potentially has a clearance. And also, there's been reports for the last couple of weeks that Pete Hegseth invites his wife into some of these meetings where they're discussing, ostensibly classified, but certainly very close hold, confidential information that shouldn't be. That it seemed very inappropriate for everybody that his wife would be in those meetings. Again, I don't know, in those situations, sometimes the spouse will be vetted for a clearance and have a clearance because just by proximity, she's going to come across things. So they will grant her some sort of clearance. But with that, it seemed very strange that all this is happening. And of course, then what's come out with his former acting press secretary who left rather hurriedly, very strangely.
Yeah.
And
let's discuss this. I want to just back up really briefly here. Let's get back to these three individuals who were fired. They put out a joint statement, Hal, over the weekend. I'm not sure if you saw this.
I saw it, yeah.
Dan Caldwell, Colin Carroll, and Darren Selnick. They said this: "We're incredibly disappointed by the manner in which our service at the Department of Defense ended." They said unnamed Pentagon officials have slandered our character with baseless attacks on our way out the door. They said all three of us served our country honorably in uniform. For two of us, this included deployments to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They say, and based on our collective service, we understand the importance of information security and worked every day to protect it. They say at this time, we still have not been told what exactly we were investigated for, if there is still an active investigation, or if there was even a real investigation of quote unquote leaks to begin with. They say, while this experience has been unconscionable, we remain supportive of the Trump-Vance administration's mission to make the Pentagon great again and achieve peace through strength. They say, we hope in the future to support those efforts in different capacities. So put that to the side. You just referenced this opinion piece in Politico over the weekend as well, by the now former, I guess, chief spokesperson at the Pentagon. And I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his last name. His name is John.
Yo, what up, Hank? Good morning to you, by the way.
Ulyat, former chief Pentagon spokesman. The first sentence of his opinion piece goes as follows: "It's been a month of total chaos at the Pentagon." I mean, he's all but implicitly saying Hegseth should step down here. So what is going on in the Pentagon? What does this do to the image of the Pentagon, the readiness of troops, our position on the world stage vis-a-vis so many of the conflicts you and I discuss each and every night here? What say you, Hal?
Well, what I will tell you is, the thing with John Ulyat's thing is he talks about total chaos in the Pentagon. And then Caroline Leavitt, the White House.
Well, that's the whole thing, is it's an anonymous source. Anonymous. Off of one person's, what they said. Okay, well, where's the fucking evidence? Because the very first time that this happened, we had, I have the actual screenshots of the Signal leak. I actually have them. I got them from the mainstream media. So they would have put this shit out if it happened a second time. But We got a lot of disgruntled people right now, and a lot of this shit can be easily just believable. But this is exactly why you need to have proof. Be able to present the evidence. Well, you don't have any evidence? Well, fuck you then. You know what I mean? Brother Frank, we'll see you on the flip side, man. Be safe out there.
House press secretary turned around and basically, in so many words, and it could have been just the way she was describing it, but she basically was saying that the entire Pentagon was basically lined up against the Secretary of Defense.
That would be a great fucking name. Chaos at the Pentagon. Oh, dude, that would be great.
And again, it could have been just incredibly poor choice of words, but she made it sound like he was fighting the Pentagon staff, some 27,000 or 20,000. I think someone said 20,000, but it's 27,000 that work there. Regardless of that, the chaos, there has to be a trust and confidence in the leadership at the Pentagon. And all of these things, they have a compounding factor. When you have all these things with the change of uniform leadership, everybody around the secretary, old friends, personal confidants,
can't talk like
suddenly
that,
are gone.
That's dumb.
And these three come out and say, "Hey, look, we were never told what we're being investigated about. We don't know. There was nothing said that there was any investigation that proved we were doing something wrong." It really starts to look like the secretary, and this is the appearance, is the secretary has kind of lost control of his office, if you will, and that's going to be something that the president's going to have to deal with.
Yeah. So
is the appearance, and by the way, this is what's coming in across from Congress as well, and it's bipartisan.
We were waiting for him to do it, and now he finally did it. So there he gets the toss.
Republicans were also actually at least one senator who's very much Republican senator talking about that it's time for a Hegseth to go. So when I hear that thing that they're looking for somebody else, I heard a rather interesting comment, and this really goes back to way back into Donald Trump's history. They said Donald Trump is 100% behind you until he's just not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everybody's kind of looking at back there, which is, if he's not looking for a replacement Secretary of Defense, I would be surprised.
So Caroline Levitt says that NPR story is fake news. You heard there from President Trump briefly saying, yes, he still has the confidence of Pete Hegseth. Though in this opinion piece, Aliat says, in short, the building is in disarray under Hegseth's leadership. Now, there's some conflicting reports on whether he was asked to resign or left the Pentagon.
What's up, Tats, by the way? Good morning or good afternoon to you over there in the beautiful UK, huh? Hopefully, right now it's actually just stopped raining. I was about to say it's raining over here. It's been raining, but it just stopped. Man, we've had a lot of thunder. Hopefully you guys have better weather than we do right now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Willfully there.
I'm just a weirdo. I love the rain and thunder and shit.
So that we've been discussing were first placed on administrative leave and then fired here. So I thought that was interesting. To your point, though, haven't heard from many Republicans in both the House and the Senate about what they think should happen next. We have heard from one of these moderate Republicans in the swing district. That's Don Bacon, the Republican from Nebraska here. I want to put this up. Bacon is the first GOP lawmaker to publicly suggest Hegseth should be fired. Bacon said he's acting like he's above the law, and that shows an amateur person here. Hal, we got to get going, but last question to you. Does Hegseth survive all this?
The next 48 hours are going to be very telling. I think everybody in D.C. is wondering what's going to happen over the next couple of days. I think tomorrow we're going to get a sense if there's a shift in the president's view on this. If you start to hear a shift in the language away from it, that'll indicate which way he's going. Certainly right now, the indication is the White House is going to basically try and weather the storm. You heard the language today, which is all signal is old news, even though this is a completely new story. They're trying to push this aside, but honestly, with the amount of attention on this right now, and certainly with these just stunning, I don't know if you want to say revelations or these
DEI big backs are in panic.
This op-ed, the basically this the three who were fired coming out. I just don't see this thing's dying this week, and I think that at some point the White House doesn't want the Secretary of Defense to be a distraction from everything else they're doing, so they're going to have to make a decision.
All right, Hal Kemper, good to see you. Hope you had a great weekend. We'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you, Andrew.
Perfect. Boom. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, even though that was a rough one in the aspect of the boringness of JD Vance for the first half was just like, oh my God, I can't get over how boring this shit is. In a whole glazing ass event. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you all enough for hanging out with us this beautiful morning. Hey, listen, what we do here is we try our absolute best to give you guys the most transparent news possible, present evidence here, and that's what we go by here. We don't just go by off of he said or one person said or she said. No, like present evidence or it didn't happen. Shut the fuck up then. You know what I mean? But so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button on the way out, man. It helps out the show immensely, man. It's free. It's free. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, stick around for the raid. We're going to be raiding our a guy I've actually been on a panel with before. I've never actually spoken to him, but his name is Ollie. So, go show him a little love and let him know it's a Mike Ball raid. So, anyways, until tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness, as we continue on with breaking news day by day, we do it exactly like that, day by day. So much love, honor, respect to everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the rest of it, and God bless.
Maybe you need to.
No, wrong fucking one. You don't need to donate. It's already fucking over. Boom. Hey, much love, honor, respect to everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges.